I'm Tom Jackson. I'm General Manager of Jackson Marking Products in Mount Vernon, Illinois. I'm going to show you a couple of the items that we're offering at the NBM show in Portland today. I'm going to start with the Phase 2 digital ribbon printer. This is one of our newer offerings. This is a system that allows you to print custom ribbon right in your own shop. It's designed for short run, small quantity ribbon jobs. The text can be set vertically or horizontally. Graphics can be imported as well, making a very professional looking ribbon. Once everything has been brought into the layout, then it's simply a matter of clicking the print button like you were sending a document to a printer, and out comes foil printed satin ribbon. This machine will print a single ribbon up to 4 inches in width, the width of the foil here, or it will print multiples of narrower ribbon. Here we have 2 pieces of 1.5-inch ribbon printing simultaneously. You can print all the way up to 5 ribbons at a time, 3/8 of an inch wide, and there are other multiples in between. This is 1 unit in our Polymer Plus exposure system line. This is our smallest exposure unit. It will create up to half a page of photopolymer stamp dies. This is the negative that you work from. This was laser printed onto vellum using just a regular laser printer. We also have some film products that you can use to expose film negatives if you prefer to do it that way. But the text is printed. It's sprayed with an enhancer that makes the toner very dark, allowing light to pass through the clear parts and be opaqued by the dark parts. This is placed on the exposure glass, like so. The packet of polymer material is laid on top. Another glass plate goes on top of that, and then everything is clamped together for the exposure cycles. We're going to bring this down into the front of the machine. The door opens here, slides in, and we're going to expose this for 15 seconds. And during that 15 seconds of ultraviolet exposure, the back of the stamp die, we call it the floor, this is the back of the stamp die, it is formed and hardened, giving a base for the printing characters to form into. Okay, so that cycle is complete. This comes out and is now turned over for exposure through the negative, forming the stamp printing characters. And that cycle is about 1.5 minutes. So we'll bring the timer up. And start that cycle. Okay, that's the end of the exposure cycle. That was called the face exposure because you're exposing through the face of the negative. And now you have a pouch containing solid and liquid resin combined. We're going to cut the top off. This is a razor knife. I'm just going to cut around the edge. And there you can see the combination of solid and liquid resin. The liquid resin is washed away. There are 2 options for that. One is to take it to a sink with a scrub brush and detergent and wash it away. We also offer an ultrasonic washout unit. This tank contains detergent and water. The plate goes in face down. Set the timer for about 10 minutes, and during that time the sound waves that come from the bottom of the tank through the water will cause the unexposed resin to wash away, and you can see the white parts, the milky looking parts, are the resin that's currently being removed. So that process takes about 10 minutes. It's a very good, thorough wash. Those sound waves remove every bit of unexposed resin, giving you a good quality stamp die. So while that plate that we just exposed is washing, I'll show you, this is a finished plate, completely washed to the floor. There's a post-exposure step where this plate went under water, back into the machine for a couple of minutes to harden the photopolymer. And then scissors are used, ordinary scissors, just cut the individual stamp images apart, and they're then suitable for mounting on the self-inking stamp frame. There's a self-adhesive tape strip there. Your polymer die goes right on the die plate, held firmly by the adhesive, or you can create the traditional knob handle stamp. There's different sizes of wood mount that you cut to length and drill a hole for insertion of the handle to create the traditional knob handle style of stamp. Here we have the Brother Stamp Creator Pro system. This is a very popular system for making a high quality pre-ink stamp, making them one at a time. It takes about 3 minutes to make a stamp, so you can offer while you wait service or very fast service to your customers. Connects to your computer like a printer does, has its own software allowing you to put whatever information they want on their stamp. And we'll set one up here. Like so. Like any publishing software, you can change fonts and point sizes and make any adjustments that you wish. You can click and it will size the layout to the stamp blank that you've selected, compressing it or expanding it to balance it out and make it look real nice. Then it's a matter of printing two processes. First is the label that's going to go on the top of the stamp. This is a blank label for the size of stamp that we're creating. I'm going to put it here in the label slot. And then I'm going to click on label and print, and it will draw it down here into the print chamber and take about a minute to put the image on the label. So there's the printed ID label with the information that will be on the stamp. Then if we go back to the screen, we're going to click on the icon for the stamp and print, and it will draw, the system will draw a transparency from this cassette. That transparency will print with an image for the stamp, and it will position it here over the lamp, which will flash the image into the foam on the base. And while it's doing that, we can apply the label to the stamp that we're creating, like so. There's 4 components that go into a stamp: the cap, the stamp itself, the skirt, and then the top. And there you can see the draft sheet moving into position above the lamp. We're going to take our stamp and set it in. There's a center point here on the stamp, a center point on the jaws of the machine. The machine will grab the stamp on that center point, holding it in the proper orientation for flashing. Lock this lid down, and that burst of light now has melted the image into the foam on the base of the stamp. Okay, we'll assemble the pieces, the cap, the skirt, and then when you put pressure on the top, it will break the ink supply. There's a little packet of ink inside the top of the stamp. It is now broken, and the ink will migrate down through to the base of the stamp. It will take about 10 minutes before the stamp is actually usable. There's the draft sheet that we fired through. Once the ink is migrated through, then you get a very high resolution 600 dpi image stamped impression, good enough that you can even use photographs from a digital camera. JPEGs can be imported. It changes the color image to a grayscale for creating a stamp printing die. And finally, we're a full-line supplier of materials for making stamps with your laser. This is a sample plate that was engraved onto our standard pink laser rubber. We have low odor laser rubber. We have a low odor laser polymer, all suitable for engraving with your in-house laser engraving equipment. Once the plate has been engraved, it can be cut with scissors, or it can be cut with the vector cut with the laser itself, and then mounted on the die plate of a self-inker or on a wood handle stamp. We offer a sample packet of materials for your laser if you want to give it a try. We'll be glad to send you one of these. Low odor rubber, standard rubber, Buna rubber for synthetic inks, and the laser polymer. And this is available for the asking. We also have a complete catalog of stamp making supplies. In here is everything you could possibly need to make stamps with rubber, with polymer by the Brother system, and some other methods as well. So give us a call or send us an email. You can find us online. The website is rubberstampmaterials.com. Email is jmp@rubber-stamp.com, rubber-stamp.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Our number is 800-782-6722. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.